You never know when life is going to throw you a curveball. Sports broadcaster Scott Lynn has seen them in all shapes and sizes over more than 6 decades on this earth. And not just on the baseball field. Sometimes it's bad news, such as when Lynn and his wife both got laid off a few years ago. But sometimes you get that break you always wanted. Here's a look at Scott's journey that led to fulfilling a lifelong dream.
Franzen sets the pick, rolls to the basket. What a nice drive all the way to the hoop.
Being the man behind the mic for the University of Tampa, it was the perfect semi-retirement gig for Scott Lynn.
Oh, nice entry pass into Franzen, puts it up and in.
Play-by-play was always Lynn's first love professionally. And after 34 years as an award-winning TV and radio broadcaster in Portland, Oregon, he was thrilled to call Division II basketball, back in the city where he got his first big career break.
So many great memories, and again, a lot of it started right here.
A job covering sports at Channel 10 had put Lynn on the path to an exciting life.
I was just a farm boy from Illinois. Who would have thought that I could have had this life where I got to meet all these people?
An extensive list.
Tom Brokaw, between the two of us, we made over $1 million a year. I was making about 35, I think, at the time, 35,000.
From broadcaster Scott idolized like Jack Buck and Harry Carey.
It was a couple hours before the game. He goes, "Hey, nice to meet you. You want a beer?"
To the President of the United States.
I'm right here. And this is the president.
Little did Lynn know that the most exciting gig of his career was about to come up out of nowhere.
You thought you were retired, basically, and now you got this opportunity.
That was what my wife said. "Wait a minute, I thought you were retired." And I said, "Well, I am, but can I pass this up?" And no, not really.
A week before the start of the NBA season, the Portland Trail Blazers came calling. They wanted Lynn to fill in for longtime radio play-by-play man Brian Wheeler for the first few weeks of the season.
Didn't expect it. I mean, I'm literally on the beach. I mean, everybody talks about being on the beach. I was on the beach, and I get this phone call going, "Do you want to come back and work in the NBA?"
Working on Ingram. Long three-pointer for the win. He knocks it down! 7/10 of a second to go. But Damian Lillard, with ice water in his veins, has sent this crowd into delirium.
Lynn got to call Damian Lillard's game winner over the Lakers during that stretch.
As he hit that shot, he taps his wrist. It was Lillard time.
Something he never thought he'd be around for about a decade ago, when Lynn was rushed to the emergency room with an ailment he thought was food poisoning.
I came back to the ER and the doc says, "I'm sorry, you have classic colon cancer. The surgeon's on his way in and you'll have surgery as soon as he gets here."
Lynn spent the time during his 6 months of chemotherapy transcribing interviews he'd conducted to write his first book. The support he received fighting his stage 3 cancer, overwhelming.
They presented me with this huge get well card, basically, from my radio station. They had signed, all that stuff kind of meant a lot.
9 years later, Lynn is living his dream. Asked again to fill in calling Blazers games for another road trip in January.
I'm on the team playing with them. I've experienced that life, and I realized that it's a young man's game. It's really hard work.
To prepare, he takes copious notes and watches games he previously recorded to get ready for each opponent.
Now he's going to launch the three. He shoots. It's good. You're looking for hairstyles, body styles, how they run.
Even when the schedule gets crazy,
there was only one time where I had 2 days between a game.
And the team loses.
2 seconds, 1 second, a three for the win. He hit it. Blake Griffin hit a three.
Scott Lynn enjoys every second of the job he loves.
You realize it's not forever. I was given a second lease, and I just wanted to make it to the first Christmas after that, and now I've made it to 9 Christmases.
And Scott told me that he just got back from his most recent trip with the Blazers, 4 games in 6 days, and he got to go to New Orleans for the first time in 45 years. It's been quite a run for him.
Yeah, great story, Rishi. I mean, he's gone back and forth between Blazers games and University of Tampa.
Yeah.
Does he get just as jacked up for the University of Tampa as he does calling Blazers games?
He says that he does. He said that is the same excitement level, maybe even better, because he knows that the parents are listening, and it's the only way that they're going to be able to keep up with their daughters or their sons that he's broadcasting. So
incredible story.